Life's precious moments are meant to be celebrated. Whether it's a birthday, anniversary, graduation, or birth, make it extraordinary with a Celebrate with Local Living on 6 announcement. Send your heartfelt wishes to your loved ones and let them know how much they mean to you. It's easy. Visit WJBF.com/celebrate to register and purchase your personalized announcement. Celebrate the love, milestones, and joy with local living on 6.
WJBF News Channel 6. Well, we've been socked in the clouds the last few days. The good news is, finally, we're going to break free of those clouds and have some wonderful sunshine heading our way as we end September. A full look at that 5-6 forecast.
Right now on News Channel 6 at 4, a popular Thanksgiving tradition in Aiken has been canceled. We'll tell you why.
Plus, challenging students to read. That's what a former athlete and author is encouraging local students to do. He's visiting schools in Richmond County. We'll take you there.
And will Augusta voters support a new arena without hockey? That's what the Coliseum Authority is trying to determine, and we're going to have details on their new study as your News at 4 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 4.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Brad Means.
And I'm Jenny Montgomery. Thank you so much for joining us. Coverage you can count on begins with a Thanksgiving Day tradition coming to an end this year. Aiken's annual one-table event is canceled.
News Channel 6's Graham Lee live now from the alley in Aiken, right where it would have been taking place this year. Graham, I know you're learning more about why this event won't happen.
Yes, Brad. Organizer Catherine Wade tells me that this event has fed between 400 and 1,200 people on Thanksgiving Day, but she says it's a matter of logistics. It's been held since 2007, bringing hundreds of people from around the county for one big feast. And in years past, they've partnered with Newberry Hall to provide space for the food. But with the venue having so many bookings coming up, they weren't able to help one table this year. Wade says although it's a lot of pressure on one person's shoulders, they just don't have the kitchen to hold it.
We have to be able to store it in coal. We have to be able to heat it. And so if I don't have that kitchen, I'm not able to do what we need to do.
Now, Wade tells me that she hopes it's going to happen going forward, but she's not sure if it'll happen next year. She's hoping it'll be on a smaller scale if that does happen. In the meantime, she's hoping people will take her place because she's gotten to the point where it's just become too much for one person to do on their own. For now, live in Aiken, Graham Lee, WJBF, News Channel 6. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Graham. A local nonprofit is creating more space to help provide food and clothing to the community. Bria Smith shows us how much bigger they're getting.
They might have moved to a new building, but Project Life's mission is the same, to make sure people in the community have the resources they need. The stores open Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 10 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon. Project Life also offers meals at noon at their previous location next door and a Bible study where people are welcome to join. The team's goal is to continue partnering with other organizations in the community to help keep an influx of both food and clothing.
Being able to get more financial partners would really allow us to take this vision to the next level, which is being able to provide people with hot meals and being able to provide people with education training so that they can not only look nice and feel good from the food they eat, but actually go out and get the jobs they desire.
Whether it's starting on Gordon Highway or throughout the rest of the CSRA, Project Life's goal is to continue bringing life to the city they love. In Augusta, Bria Smith, WJBF, News Channel 6.
A new program at USC Aiken providing a way for active and retired scientists and engineers to collaborate. These STEM professionals will have access to equipment and laboratories. They'll work right there with the students and faculty on projects. There are 7 affiliates in the program so far, mentoring the students and recruiting them possibly as interns or future employees. They say this will help grow Aiken's already booming science and engineering landscape.
We're very fortunate to be in a wonderful area that has so many POE facilities, industry, and technical fields. And we have all this wonderful experience out there that we can share with our students. And so we just have to a way to facilitate this.
Dean McKay says they plan to build a research center at the school just for this program, and he hopes to secure money for it in the next 2 years.
Turning now to the weather, one more day until the weekend. And
They'll decide in November whether to approve a half-cent increase in the sales tax to pay for the new JBA. Supporters say the potential to bring back hockey should help that effort.
a former Falcons and Braves player returning to Augusta to read to elementary school students. Tiffany Hobbs spoke with him about his passion for encouraging young people.
Thursday morning, Brian Jordan sat down with students at Lamar Millage Elementary School. He read his book, I Told You I Can Play, which tells the story of a young boy overcoming tough obstacles.
If we start early with kids and motivate them, inspire them despite their circumstances, it will give them hope, something to strive for. And for me, if they can write down their dream early on in life, I think they can be successful.
Jordan says his inspiration to inspire young people began with his mother, a former teacher who worked with special needs students. After nearly 2 decades as a professional athlete, he felt a calling to make a difference like her.
With all the game systems that these kids play with, they see athletes. And if they're going to listen to somebody, they're going to listen to those athletes that they want to be like.
In 1998, Jordan founded the Brian Jordan Foundation to help children reach their full potential. Jordan tells us his work also extends beyond writing.
It's giving scholarships to those underprivileged, those kids who really have strived for the best but don't have the resources to go to that next level in college.
National literacy reports say that 1 in 4 children grow up without learning how to read. Jordan says he's determined to change that.
If I start with the younger kids, we can make that impact, and these guys and girls can be very successful also.
Jordan tells us his work at Lamar Millage is just beginning. He'll be back 3 more times this school year to encourage the students to stay on track with their reading.
When the kids come up to me and hug me afterwards, that means so much to me, because sometimes it just takes a hug.
In Augusta, Tiffany Hobbs, WJBF, News Channel 6.
The Augusta University Athletic Department announces the formation of the AU Athletics Hall of Fame. The college wants to honor individuals and teams that have earned outstanding athletic achievements for the Jaguars. They plan to induct the first class in the spring of 2025. They're currently accepting nominations until August 1st.
Well, I think the plan was to get the Hall of Fame going right around COVID hit, so obviously that altered plans. So there was some good work that was done by our staff here in athletics and across campus, and just was the right time for us to pick this back up and finalize all the plans. And we have some amazing student athletes who have done some incredible things here, coaches, former staff, and we wanted to recognize them. And we're so focused on the future and all the great things we're working on, we wanted to also look back at the past and make sure we're recognizing those who have done so much for our university and our athletics program. We thought it was the right time to do so.
Nominations are open to former AU student athletes, coaches, administrators, staff, and supporters. You can find a link to the form at WJBF.com. The CSRA's Cyber Hub may soon extend to North Augusta. $15 million of plutonium settlement money will build a cyber center in the city. Senator Tom Young made that announcement last week. Mayor Brent Williams says details of the project have not been ironed out yet, but all ideas are on the table. Ideally, it would be located downtown or in Riverside Village to be as close as possible to the Georgia Cyber Center.
We understand that the space that's available in downtown Augusta for this type of investment is limited, and there have been a number of companies and others that have expressed interest in being on the North Augusta side of the river. And so our delegation, along with the city of North Augusta, secured the funds, and we anticipate that the city will put those to good use in the next couple of years.
Mayor Williams says that right now, planning for the cyber center is on the back burner for a while because of other priorities, but it's something they will be discussing soon.
10,000-pound semis on the road without anybody behind the wheel.
What can go wrong with that, right? Well, coming up, one state that's making it a reality. Don't go away. Welcome back, everyone. Companies have been testing concerns for road safety and the trucking industry.
A lot of truckers believe it's another sign that commercial driving is changing fast, just like a lot of professions, as Nancy Liu reports.
I worry a lot because, my job's going to be replaced.
Raymond Lucatero has been driving big rigs in California for over 30 years, but he believes the end of his professional road is shorter than his road to retirement.
I'll stay here as long as I can, but I think, my jobs will be replaced as other jobs.
How soon?
In the matter of a couple years.
It's been more than a couple years since major retailers started testing autonomous trucks in a number of states, but many believe a full rollout won't happen anytime soon. A major factor, significant pushback within the industry. Truckers Against Autonomous Vehicles held a Southern California rally last week ahead of the governor's veto of Assembly Bill 316. It means human drivers won't be required to be on board self-driving trucks. Unions and critics claim automation is not only dangerous, it endangers jobs and the economy.
We need to protect these jobs. We need to make sure that there's a future. Look, we proved our relevance during the pandemic. When we provided goods and services to this country, we kept this country moving. So we need to make sure that any attack or any vulnerability because of technology needs to be dealt with and dealt with accordingly.
But just like autonomous taxis, autonomous truck technology is already here. And proponents argue machines are safer drivers.
Computers do not drink. They don't do drugs. They don't look at their cell phone when they're driving.
Noel Perry believes autonomous trucks will eventually improve supply chain efficiency, and full automation could happen within the next 20 years.
You could have trucks going one after the other with a driver in the front controlling the rest of them.
Some long haulers are already looking to pull over and pivot.
So right now I'm looking into doing something else. I'm investing my money somewhere else instead of on a truck.
Other truckers say a driver shortage has demand and wages still pretty high, so they're going to stick with it while they can.
According to the American Trucking Federation, the industry is still short more than 50,000 drivers.
Well, we may be ending September, but we're not ending the tropical season. That ends November 30th, so we have a long way to go in two systems now on the planet. We'll talk more about that in the forecast.
I'm Attorney G.
Low 80s. That's the forecast, guys.
Looks pretty, Tim. Thank you. Nationwide insurance is dropping more than 10,000 policies in the Outer Banks of North Carolina.
The state's Department of Insurance says more than half of the non-renewed policies are based on the Hurricane Hazard Assessment tool. Nationwide told the state agency it assessed and rebalanced its portfolio based on risk. The company looked at climate severity, weather-related losses, and the reinsurance market.
Realtors say homeowners will have to scramble now to find different coverage, with many insurance rates skyrocketing. We'll be right back.
The Fresh Kelly and Bart, weekdays.
The News Channel 6 mobile app is now even better. Download it today.
Well, tonight's the night. Really, tomorrow morning is the morning that we have the last supermoon, the harvest moon. Will we be able to get rid of these clouds? We'll talk about that and see if that's the case.
Right now on News Channel 6 and 6, could pucks be dropping in Augusta once again? The push to bring hockey back to town.
Plus, a Thanksgiving tradition canceled this year. Why Aiken's one table is being put on hold.
And an Atlanta sports star in the Garden City today. We'll hear from former Falcon and Brave Brian Jordan as your news at 6 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is WJBF News Channel 6 at 6.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jenny Montgomery.
I'm Brad Means. Thanks for joining us. We do appreciate it. As coverage you can count on begins with pro hockey, possibly making a comeback at a new James Brown Arena. Been 10 years since Augusta's had a team.
But a new feasibility study could open the door after it looked like hockey was going to be out at the JBA. Senior reporter George Escala has the story.
Out with the old James Brown Arena and in with a new one could give area hockey fans reason to cheer.
It's an exciting time. I think that it brings just more value and more importance on the fact that we need to get this arena
passed.
Generating the Hockey Could Return buzz is a new feasibility study that says if an ECHL team moved into the new arena, it would have a positive economic impact. The study saying it would result in a nearly $1 million increase in profits for the Coliseum Authority the first year.
The study actually said that hockey is feasible for Augusta, but there are a lot of other variables that come into play, Joyce, that we have to look at.
First of all, the Coliseum Authority did not include money for ice-making equipment in the design of the new arena, but the JBA's management company says it will front the authority $10 million for ice-making equipment if an agreement can be worked out on paying that back.
My main goal as chairman is making sure that the authority is not strapped with any extra payments for ice.
In November, Augusta voters will decide whether to increase the sales tax by 0.5% to pay for a new arena. An agreement on how to pay back the $10 million will likely not be in place on Election Day.
The reality is, if we don't get an arena, there is no hockey.
A study saying hockey is economically feasible, but if voters reject the new arena, that would be put on ice. In Augusta, George Escala, WJBF, News Channel 6.
It's tax-paying time in Augusta. The tax commissioner seeing a steady stream of customers after tax bills were mailed out late last week. Augusta commissioners approved the full rollback rate, but even with that, many property owners are still seeing an increase due to the massive revaluations of property this year. But the school board did not approve the full rollback rate, so that's adding an extra burden on the tax bills.
In general, the difference between what they're paying now versus if they had taken a rollback rate is about $63.60 per $100,000 home.
Johnson says October 5th is the deadline for property owners to pay their taxes and receive a 1% discount. Richmond County is the only county in the state of Georgia to offer a discount for early payment.
It is time now for our first check of our weather.
To see the super moon. We'll talk more about that in just a few minutes. The wedge, though, will break, though, tomorrow. I think sun will shine by afternoon time, and that sets us up for a glorious weekend. And wait till you see what's headed our way next week. We'll talk all about that with your forecast in just a few minutes. Jenny, Brad.
All right, Tim, thanks. Thanksgiving Day tradition is coming to an end this year. Aiken's annual one-table event is canceled. Graham Lee, live now in the alley in Aiken where it would have taken place this year. Graham, you're learning more about why this event will not happen.
Yes, Brad, I have. I talked to organizer Catherine Wade earlier, and what she told me was this event has fed between 400 and 1,200 people on Thanksgiving Day in years past, but this year, it's all about a matter of logistics. It's been held since 2007, bringing hundreds of people from around the county for one big feast. And in years past, they partnered with Newberry Hall to provide space for the food. But with so many venues, so many bookings coming up for the venue they weren't able to help one table this year. Wade says although it's a lot on one person's shoulders, they just don't have the kitchen to do it.
We have to be able to store it in coal. We have to be able to heat it. And so if I don't have that kitchen, I'm not able to do what we need to do. I can get the tables there.
So Wade also tells me that she hopes that's going to happen next year, but if it does, she's hoping that'll happen on a smaller scale. In the meantime, she's hoping people will also volunteer to take her place because she's just gotten to the point where it's too much for one person to handle and organize by themselves. For now, live in Aiken, Graham Lee, WJBF, News Channel 6, Bradton.
All right, thank you, Graham. A local nonprofit is expanding to help provide more resources to the community. Project Life is a store where people can come shop on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for free. Clothing items for the whole. All right, thank you, Graham. A local nonprofit is expanding to help provide more resources to the community. Project Life is a store where people can come shop on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for free. Clothing items for the whole family are available, and there's also a food pantry. The organization has been helping folks in the CSRA for the past 26 years, and it plans on reaching even more people in need.
I've been coming for several years. It's been several years. It's been times, when things get hard, they tell you, doesn't matter what you have, what you don't have. They welcome you with open arms. Come on through.
Donations are welcome at the drive-through drop-off that's located on the side of the Project Life building, and that is on Gordon Highway.
A former Falcons and Braves player returning to Augusta to read to elementary students today. This morning, Brian Jordan, there he is, sitting down with students at Lamar Millage Elementary School. He read his book, I Told You I Can Play, which tells the story of a young boy overcoming tough obstacles. National literacy reports show that 1 in 4 children grows up without learning how to read. Jordan says he is determined to change that.
My mom's a teacher, and I watch her pour her heart and soul into giving kids with special needs hope that they can be successful in life. And for me, if we start early with kids and motivate them, inspire them despite their circumstances, it will give them hope, something to strive for. And for me, if they can write down their dream early on in life, I think they can be successful.
Jordan's going to come back to Lamar Millage Elementary 3 more times this school year to encourage the students to stay on track with their reading.
A new research affiliate program at USC-Aiken provides a way for active and retired scientists and engineers to collaborate. Past and present STEM professionals will have access to equipment and laboratories and will be working with students and faculty on projects. There are currently 17 affiliates in the program. They'll be able to mentor the students and possibly recruit them as interns or employees in the future. They say this will help grow Aiken's booming science and engineering landscape.
We're very fortunate to be in a wonderful area that has so many DOE facilities and industry and technical fields. And we have all this wonderful experience out there that we can share with our students. And so we just have to a way to facilitate this.
Dean McKay says they plan to build a research center at the school specifically for the program. He also hopes to secure funding for the center in the next 2 years. Coming up, the deadline for a government shutdown is looming.
We're going to let you know what lawmakers are doing to try to get a deal done. But first, a look at what's coming up tonight on News Nation.
Tonight,
with high inflation and high cost of living.
Now, your most accurate forecast with WJBF Live Viper 6.
Well, give a shout out to meteorologist Jennifer Tracci, who made a school visit to Chucker Creek Elementary School in Aiken. Look at all the boys and girls and the teachers. Had a bunch of fun. Jenna does a great presentation, and if y'all want to have Jenna come to your school, there's the information how to reach Jenna through her Facebook or just email her here at the station, and she too will make an appearance at your school visit. Look at all the youngins enjoying the weather and having a bunch of fun. How today
or shop online.
Tired of what you see at all those other stores?
Come see Weinberger's Furniture's new accessories. Check out the selection that changes daily.
See our huge rug department. Buy a beautiful rug, and if it doesn't work, just bring it back.
Can't decide what you need? We have stress-free in-home design. Our experts help you create customized spaces you'll love, right in your own home.
Can you really get all this at prices better than the internet?
Yes, you can.